Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we have a faith talk, and I love doing my faith talks. These are like my most favorite videos to film, and I'm finally having one for you guys. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite Christian books, and all of these books have helped me in some type of way throughout my Christian journey. So I was looking at my collection and I was like, why don't I just share the different types of books that I've read that really have helped me. And these books are super duper timeless, like they're always relevant. Anything about God is always like right on time, always relevant. So you can read these books over and over, like they are always prominent in some type of way in your life. So I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. I definitely want to go ahead and get started with the video, but first, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscription button. I would really love to have you guys. So if you like me or what I'm bringing you guys, then please feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So the very first book that I want to talk about is The Good and Beautiful God. And I'm telling you, let me just go ahead and say this. If you don't get anything from this video, please just invest in this book, please. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm bringing this up first for a reason, just because it really did set the foundation for my Christian journey thus far. This is like the very first book that I read, and it is entitled The Good and Beautiful God, Falling in Love with the God Jesus Knows. Falling in Love with the God Jesus Knows. So it's called the book The Good and Beautiful God, and it's by James Bryan Smith. This book is pretty much about God. You know, I feel like if you want to develop a relationship with God and maybe you're first starting out, this book will be really good for you. Pretty much just talks about God and who he is. And I guess you can say like the personality of God, like, you know, who he is, his traits, but it really does explain, you know, what God's intentions are in your life, who he is, what he stands for, what he doesn't stand for, the reasons why he may not stand for things. You know, it just breaks God down. And I feel like if you're gonna try and develop a relationship with God, you really do need to know like who he is. And that's just like with any relationship. If you want to be somebody's friend, you have to take the time to get to know them. And so I feel like this book really did help me get to know who God is. And of course, all that information is in the Bible, but you know, you spend almost years and years or months and months and months reading the Bible, and sometimes you just don't know who God is right away. So this book kind of condenses all of that information into this lovely book, and it helped me really develop a relationship with God. It's also kind of like debunking myths that people like say things about God. Say if they say God punishes you because you sin, and you like God does bad things to you when you sin. Of course that is false. God does not intentionally punish you. He makes us go through things for a reason, but it's not to necessarily punish us. And so this book breaks down that myth, and in that process, you will see how God really and truly is. And it also backs it up with scripture, which is something I really appreciate. I am the type that if you can't tell me where it says it in the Bible, then I won't necessarily believe it, or I won't, you know, really hold it near and dear to my heart. Versus this book, whatever it said, it was in the Bible. They were able to kind of put two and two together. So I really did appreciate that about this book. And I'll show you guys the cover yet again. And I highlighted all inside of this book, y'all. If y'all can see, I wrote in it, highlighted it. If you are a new believer, if you're new into the game, then I highly recommend this book. It really did help me a couple of years ago, and I honestly prayed for a relationship with God. One night I fell to my knees and I was just like, God, I want to know who you are. It's really hard trying to read this Bible, and I don't understand a freaking thing in this thing, man. Let me get to know you. I don't know how. And somewhere along the way, he led me to this book. I don't even remember how I purchased it. I just saw it on Amazon and decided to get it. So this is a huge gem, and this is like #1 on my list, you guys. Please get this book if you don't get anything else. So if that explanation doesn't make you feel like I was totally in love with that book, then maybe this one will. This is the second, I guess you can say, like the part 2 of The Good and Beautiful God, and this one is called The Good and Beautiful Life, Putting on the Character of Christ, and this one is also by James Bryan Smith. There's like a 3-part series to this whole entire line of books. It's The Good and Beautiful God, The Good and Beautiful Life, and The Good and Beautiful Community. I haven't gotten around to getting the community one yet, but I will in the near future. But for right now, I'm reading this one, and I really do like this one as well. However, I don't recommend it unless you buy the first one. This can be read without the first one, but they do refer to the first book a lot, like a lot of chapters and stuff, but they give you summaries of what that chapter talked about in this book. So it's kind of like you don't need it, but I would recommend that you get the first book, The Good and Beautiful God, before you read this one, just so you can be well equipped as you read this one. The Good and Beautiful Life is about just incorporating God into your life, the characteristics that you learned in the first book, the traits that you learned about God in the first book, just incorporating those traits into your life and adopting the lifestyle that God will pretty much want you to have. It's just about living more of a godly life, like, you know, living it the right way where you're not condemned. Trust me, I have been highlighting in this one too, so it gets real, and I really do like this one. I'm actually not done with it, but this one really is good, and I highly recommend it too. So the third book may be one that not everybody is interested in, and I can understand that. I can respect it, but I personally picked this book up because I reached a season in my life where I was interested in the topic of this book. And so the book that I'm talking about is The Weights, and I'm sure pretty much everybody has heard of this book, but it's by Devon Franklin and Megan Good. They are a married couple, and they pretty much talk about celibacy and how to pursue celibacy. And at the bottom it says, a powerful practice for finding the love of your life and the life you love. And this book is super duper good. Seriously, it really, really is. Even if you're not into celibacy, but you kind of want to just like understand what it is and what it takes, maybe you're not on that level yet, and I mean, I respect that and everything, but this book does talk about celibacy, which means no sex before marriage. And I really did enjoy the book. It really does go into the nitty-gritty and all the juicy details of what will happen as you seek celibacy. How should you do it? When should you do it? Where should you do it? Who should you do it with? Why men seek celibacy, why men are afraid of celibacy, why women are afraid of celibacy. So it really proposes these questions, just addresses everything. It really does address everything that you need to know about celibacy. And it also talks into the perspective of Devon Franklin and Megan Good's relationship, how they first met, how they pursued one another. Megan Good will come in and talk, you know, hey, I experienced this with Devon and it was really hard. They even talk about like the different trials they faced, like they were in some heated moments where the passion was on, but they had to stop and, you know, honor God with the promise of no sex before marriage. And so it's just really like, I don't know, motivational. I have personally been practicing celibacy for about 2 years. It's not easy. It really isn't easy, and it's something that you really got to work at and you really got to stay true to, but it's doable, you guys. It's doable, and that's pretty much what this book is saying. It's doable. Try it, you know, and it's for your good. It's for God's glory, but it's for your good. And I really do appreciate this book, and it's something that I can read over and over, because since I'm practicing celibacy, I'm practicing it, which means I have not perfected it. So these tips and tricks and things like that really does help me throughout that process. And it also talks about waiting, not just for like before marriage, waiting to have sex before marriage, but it also talks about just waiting for what God has in store for you, being patient, practicing the art of being patient. And, you know, waiting for God's call, waiting for God's word, waiting for God's okay to do stuff. So it's not just about celibacy, but it kind of is mostly about celibacy, but you can apply it in many different ways in your life. So yeah, highly recommend this book. The next book I want to talk about is a book that I stumbled across during a conference that I went to. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Heather Lindsay or Cornelius Lindsay, but I was in Pinky Promise at my college, and there was like a chapter at my college and I was in it. So yeah, I went to a Pinky Promise conference, had the best time of my life. I was moved the entire time. And they were selling books. Heather Lindsay is an author as well, and she was selling books and stuff. And so during that conference, this was her newest book, and it's called The Purpose Room. And it's pretty much about finding out what your purpose is. Let me see if I can read a little bit of what's on the back. If you've ever struggled with identifying, being afraid of, or walking in your purpose, this book is for you. The Purpose Room seeks to create a comfortable atmosphere for you to be honest about your talents, gifts, or insecurities in order to confidently walk the path God has called you to do. Regardless of where you are in life, the Purpose Room will help you to discover, accomplish, and birth your God-given purpose. So this book, it was very eye-opening, I guess you can say. I don't want to spill too much, but I will say that this isn't a secret. What I'm about to say, that your purpose, it doesn't just fall onto your lap. Sometimes you never really find out your purpose, but we as children of God have like one specific purpose, and that is to spread the gospel and to love one another. With that, we are able to, incorporate our talents and things like that. But I don't want to give away anything. I don't want to give anything away as far as what the book is about, but it definitely helps you navigate through the process of you figuring out, okay, what do I like to do? What can I do to serve God, but also serve the people of this world? And so I really did enjoy this book. It's not that long, y'all. First off, the font is big, if you can see, and it's just a really short and good book. So highly recommend this one. She also has a lot of great books I've heard, but this is the only one that I have from Miss Heather Lindsay. So if you don't like this book, or if you're not into this book, she has a lot of others for you to choose from, and I highly recommend this one. So this next book is not really a novel or like a book per se, but it is a like study Bible type of book. Like you pair it with your Bible. And it is the Drawn In Bible Study, Esther, Finding Yourself in Times of Trouble, and it's by Eugene H. Patterson. I did start on the first chapter here, and it's pretty much a adult coloring book. I know sometimes spending time with God can be, I don't want to say boring, but boring. Like it can get a little, like you start to wonder in your mind, and you start to want to get on Instagram and social media, and you're just like, screw studying the Bible. So I know it gets like that. So I bought this one just to, kind of make it a little bit more entertaining. I personally like adult coloring books. I like to color. So to study a chapter a night and then be able to, color in the study Bible, it really is it's a cool idea. And they actually have a lot of other books. They have the Book of Mary, the Book of Ruth, but nonetheless, I want to study Esther, and this one is very nice. It's by Eugene H. Patterson, and yeah, I just never seen anything like this. This is really cool. And also they ask questions like as you study for each chapter, and you can kind of like answer those questions. And I just think this is such a cool idea. I've never seen anything like it. And I also started to color. Isn't this so cute? Oh my gosh. So really like this book. I plan to get into it a little bit more than what I have, but I really do like it. This is the last book, you guys. But this one is a devotional, and this one was recommended to me by my sweet friend Melissa. She talked about it, and she said she got it from Kroger, like the supermarket. Kroger's, I'm not sure if they're everywhere, but there's a supermarket down south called Kroger's, and she bought it for about like $10. And so I was like, wow. And so the way she was talking about it just really made me want to get it. And so I bought this from christianbooks.com, and oh, let me tell you what it is. It's called How God Grows a Woman of Prayer, and it's by Anita Higman and Marion Leslie, and it's a devotional journal. Really cool, right? And so what it looks like on the inside, there will be a passage on the right where it's pretty much like a devotional. You are able to read it, dwell on it, and then on the right side, you can write your thoughts. And I just think that is so innovative and cool, because you know, journaling, I do journaling, but sometimes I don't have things to write about, and I do want to write. It's just that I don't really have anything to like write about per se. So this could be like, if you maybe are getting into journaling and you don't really know how to express yourself through writing really well, then these will give you kind of like a topic, and then you can write about whatever you just read on this side and write to God. So this is a really good idea. I really do appreciate this one. At first, when I started to write in the journal, I would do it like page for page, like page for page, page for page, page for page, and that kind of got boring within itself. So nowadays I just like flip to a random page, like I'll literally do this and then say stop and read the passage, and then sometimes it hits right on the nail. Other times it's just really nice to read, and then I can just dwell on that topic. So highly recommend this if you are on the market for some type of journaling ideas or some type of journaling tools. Maybe you're new to journaling, don't really know how to attack it, or if you just want something new, like a new innovative devotional, and I think this one is it for you. So guys, that wraps up this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. I will try to put links to these books and also the prices within the video. If not, they will be in the description box. But nonetheless, I really do hope you got something from this video. Again, wait. If you don't do anything, get this book, please. It is everything and more. It's everything you need. Just to, like, even if you're a non-believer, honestly, even if you don't believe in God, but you still kind of like, woo, what they ranting and raving about, this is the book. It teaches you everything about God, who he is, what the heck, all of that. Okay, get this book. Again, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscription button so you can keep up with the lovely content that I create for you guys. I would love to have you, and you will not be disappointed if you hit that subscription button. So go ahead and do it, and also like and comment on the video, because I love to hear from you all. Comment some books that you may have read that I may not have mentioned in the video, because honestly, I'm on the market for some new books myself. Since I'm out of college now, I'm gonna have a lot of downtime, and so what better way than to just read some books about Jesus? So yeah, drop some suggestions in the comment section, and I love you guys forever. Have a great day, week, whenever you're watching this. Bye.